Welcome to the Ange TV show. If you click this video, it's probably because there's breaking news, or you're tuning in for my daily briefing. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. There's 3 ways you can support the Ange TV show. Visit our merch store at the Ange TV show on Teespring and purchase merch now. Or you could send a super chat. And finally, you could become a member of this glorious channel by hitting the join button at the bottom of the video. Alright guys, enjoy the show. What's up guys? We are live. Welcome to the Ange TV show, guys. I'm really happy to see you. What's up, Raw? What's up, guys? Tonight, okay, we have a highly requested guest, okay? You guys asked for her, and you guys are going to get her now, okay? She's a nursing student, so yes, she's a nurse. You guys were asking about, you wanted a nurse on, you wanted to ask her questions, this, that, whatever. Guys, we have a special guest today, a friend of mine, actually a pretty good friend of mine right now. We've been honestly getting to know each other quite a bit, becoming good friends and everything. So without further ado, guys, let's let on our guest tonight, Mrs. ALESIA Piccolino. Hey!
Hi.
What's up, ALESIA? How are you?
I'm good. You?
I'm good. So like I said, guys, ALESIA, okay, she's a student nurse, and she's been on the channel before, okay? She's come here. We actually had a chat about mental health, right, ALESIA?
Yes.
Exactly. I think it was like last week we had a mental health discussion. So you guys have seen her a bit. You've seen her on Instagram Live. And now we're here to talk about what she does, right? So ALESIA, why don't you introduce yourselves to all the viewers that don't know you?
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is ALESIA Piccolino. I'm 24 years old and I'm a student nurse. And I'm currently on a cardiac surgery floor. And yeah, that's pretty much who I am.
Awesome. So, ALESIA, you're a student nurse. You're going through the journey, okay? You're doing the steps it takes to become a nurse. Tell me, what are the requirements to become a nurse?
Okay, so it's different for everybody, but if you're right out of high school, the requirements are chemistry. If I'm not mistaken, because it's a while I graduated, it's going to be high math, so like 436, stuff like that. You have to take the scientific option.
Okay.
And so those are the requirements to get into college. There's a lot of colleges that offer a nursing program. There's Dawson, there's Champlain, Vanier College, and there's a lot of other French colleges also. If you took, let's say in college, you took pure and applied or, the science, like health sciences, you could go directly to university and you could start your bachelor's in nursing. So it's very different for everybody.
Okay. Nice. So those are all like the ways to get in. And other than needing the high maths and getting the degree, like there's no other requirements. You don't have to pay.
Well, schooling in Montreal is pretty, it's decent considering. And yeah, I mean, in my situation, I graduated high school. Then I went into psychology. I graduated in psychology. After that, I went to university for speech pathology. Okay. And I did 2.5 years of that. It wasn't really my thing. I liked it, but I needed something more challenging.
Exactly.
So I decided to go into nursing, and now I'm, I'm in my final integration. So we shall see what's next.
And you're doing your stage right now, right, ALESIA?
Yes.
And
it's an internship.
You're doing an internship, right? Okay. Right now, like in what type of environment are you working in right now? Like what unit are you working in?
The cardiac surgery floor.
Okay. So people that are having issues with their heart, right?
Yes, exactly. But they come along with other past medical histories and stuff like
Yeah, there's definitely complications, stuff like
that.
that.
Of course, yeah.
So, Alessia, tell me, what are the nursing positions? Tell me all about all the possibilities for positions for nurses.
Okay. So the possibilities are endless, right? If you have a passion for something, you know that I preach just doing you and going, basically seeing where life takes you.
Mm-hmm.
In nursing, there's so many fields. You could work in pediatrics, so that's with children under the age of 18. You could
Mm-hmm.
work in the maternity, prenatal, or fertility, in oncology, which is cancer patients,
Yeah.
cardiac surgery, respiratory floors. There's so many fields in nursing. And like I
Okay.
mentioned prior, I'm not sure if I mentioned this on your channel, but
Mm-hmm.
I want to become a cosmetic nurse. So there's
Oh
also
yeah.
like
Okay. Yeah, you did mention
non-invasive.
it. You did mention it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Which you're gonna get
non-invasive.
into that because that's your long term goal. Like you don't want to just work in a hospital setting. You have a goal in mind, right? And we're
Mhm.
gonna talk about that later, right, Alessia?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So was there a moment, okay, in your young nursing career that changed your life? Like something that was shocking, something that you saw, a situation where you felt really uncomfortable. So I'm leaving the door open for you to choose one. So
Mhm.
what, like, just let us know what is a life changing moment, okay, in your young nursing career.
Um, I mean, for me, um, the most beautiful moment I've ever experienced was seeing like a newborn.
Oh, really?
For
Okay.
me, that totally changed my life because in this field of practice, you're subjected to a lot of death and people in their most vulnerable situation, their most vulnerable
Yeah.
place, right?
Hmm.
So to see a birth for the first time, and especially when it's not somebody that you're necessarily close with, but you develop such
Yeah.
a strong bond because it's
Really?
like, yeah, with the mother, with the father, with the family. It's a very beautiful moment that completely
Wow.
changed
Okay.
my perspective.
So you already worked in the birthing center. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I had a stage on the maternity and prenatal floor.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. So you
Hmm.
just got to see that. That's a beautiful moment. But by the way, Ms. Lackey's in the building. What's up, Ms. Lackey? And also Jess Sorrell, how are you? Thank you for being a member of this channel. Guys, you could become a member of this channel by hitting the join button at the bottom of the video. So yeah, going on about the birthing center. What's it called? I was actually in the birthing center today. It was funny and everything. But what I wanted to say is that now there's women giving birth with
Hmm.
COVID. Imagine that.
Hmm.
Like you give birth to a COVID baby. You know what I mean? No, but
Hmm.
seriously, like it's like like you see that there's a woman, she's giving birth and she has COVID. It's just like it's a bit heartbreaking. No, Alessia.
Well, it obviously it depends on how it manifests. For some people, unfortunately, their prognosis isn't uh, that amazing, but others
Hmm.
they might not even exhibit. They're going to be asymptomatic, right? So their body
Yeah.
probably won't react in an invasive way.
Yeah, exactly. So you told us about a really nice moment about witnessing a mom give birth, okay, which is amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all want to do that one day. We all want to experience that one day, whether you're a man or woman, right? If you're there
Mm-hmm.
holding your wife, or if you're there in distress.
Yeah.
But like I said, I want to know a really nasty moment because I want to get a feel of this field. I want to
Mm-hmm.
know a really, really a moment either you felt because I remember you telling me, let's say there was a point in your stage. I'm not sure if it was a stage or if it was your schooling. You felt uncomfortable because of language, right?
Yes.
So why don't you
Um,
tell us a bit about that when you got to work, and it's not, and like let us know what happened, Alessia.
okay. So as you guys all can tell, my first language is English,
That's right.
and French would be my second, along with Italian, right? But it's hard for you to put yourself in an environment where the communication isn't at par, right? If you have doctors and, you know, staff that are incredibly, well, obviously they're incredibly knowledgeable, but also the communication kind of is clashing, because if you have somebody that's Anglophone, doesn't necessarily know the abbreviations in the French medical system. So it's very hard for, you know, you go into an English hospital setting, then a French, and you have to basically, it's like you have two brains, right? You have your English brain and then you have your French. So it's very hard to communicate.
It is.
Especially if, let's say, you know, my school is English, so you're communicating and, you know, all your schooling is in English, and then when you go into a French setting, it's like you have to readapt. So it's a lot of pressure and, you know, like minor stress. I would like to call it minor stress because I don't want to, you know, make it seem like it's the end of the world, which it isn't. Learning languages is amazing, you know. You want to have as much, you know, languages, because that enables you to interact with so many different people.
Absolutely.
But, and I know where you're getting at, sometimes people do not like when you're unable to communicate in the language that they are choosing to speak to you with, right? And I've been called out sometimes just saying that, you know, like, you have an accent, and it's kind of irrelevant to my practice, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm still doing my job, and I'll do it at the best capabilities. So, you know,
that's what it is. Like, they, you know, there's a bit of the jealousy between the other nursing students. There's a bit of I don't want to say it's a bit about race, but sometimes it does come down to that, Alessia. It's like, you know, they don't see themselves in you, and they see you as a threat or whatever. It's just, you know, in life, Alessia, you're gonna see a lot of there's gonna be a lot of obstacles, the hurdles. There's gonna be people putting you down. There's gonna be people screwing you over. Quite frankly, Alessia, like, even in nursing, like, any job you do, there's gonna be colleagues that are like backstabbing you, and I don't know, if something happened, they're gonna throw you under the bus and stuff like that. And, you know what you do, you're in nursing, okay? You're dealing with lives, so it's like another notch higher, okay, of responsibility. And another thing I wanted to say about that, Alessia, like, as a housekeeper, you know, when you're a nurse, like, okay, they say that the doctor runs the show, but to me, the doctor runs the show, but the nurse manages the show. So you have to look after, if the housekeeper's doing the room, is the doctor okay? You know, not really. There's nothing you can really do to the doctor, because the doctor's the doctor. But is the PAB doing their job? Are the nursing students doing their job? Like, it's just like, and then it's like, oh, this guy lost this key, this guy did this person gave too much medication. Everybody comes and run after you, grabbing your shirt all over the place. Like, that's the type of environment of nursing. So we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to a question very similar to that pretty soon. But listen, Alessia, what type of nurse do you want to be?
Okay, so I'm very interested in multiple fields, okay? I love cosmetics, so I would love to become a cosmetic nurse. So what that means is like non-invasive reconstructive surgery, so Botox injections. Like, I wouldn't mind working for a plastic surgeon, or in the future develop my own practice, right? Also, I would love to work in psychology. I really love psychology. And but my vision is more towards cosmetic nursing, but it can always change, right? I'm open to that.
Okay, but cosmetic, okay, like, you're okay, Botox, is it like people that get the lip jobs and stuff like that? Is it silicone? Like is it like
the practice offers a multitude of services, so you can have fillers, Botox. I have to take the course, right? So I'm not going to say more than that, but for sure, I mean, there's different components that you can be injecting yourself with, right?
Yeah. Ms. Laki says, my daughter is a nurse and she's bilingual. The nurses do more than the doctors. Wow.
Well, what I have to say about that is that the nurse has to be, I would say, just as knowledgeable in a sense, because when a doctor executes a plan, right? Because a nurse acts
Hmm.
on the orders given by the doctor.
Yeah.
But if the doctor mentioned something, but you picked up on an assessment that you did, right? So you pick
Yeah.
up on an assessment, his order might change because of the assessment that you did. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of communication between two parties. But at the end of the day, there is like a hierarchy, in any
Yeah.
setting.
Of
But
course.
I would say that in the unit that I'm on right now,
Hmm.
it's amazing. I don't feel like there's a hierarchy. I feel like communication is like incredible, and
That's good.
they really value the input that the nurse has to say, because like I
Hmm.
said, like the plan is executed that way through the nurse's perception of the situation also. Because as a nurse, you don't diagnose, but you can put input to make the doctor create a diagnosis, right? So
Exactly. Yeah. So you've dealt with everything up to now, like the preparing the medication, stuff like that. Any type of shots you have to give to the patient. You've done all that. Like all that is already covered, right?
yes, so all techniques are learned at this point, and now it's basically practice makes perfect, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So, and you're gonna make mistakes for sure, right? There's gonna be like who know. You have no idea. You know, an old lady once told my girlfriend, "You have no idea what you have in store. You're so young." It was an Italian old woman. She looks at her and she's like, "You're so young. You have no idea what's coming at you." Actually, I don't even know if it was my
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend or maybe it was somebody else, but I think it was somebody else. Sorry about that, but the whole point is that you have no idea what's coming for you. It's a lot. It's 35 years. What? I think 35 years to retire, full benefit, this, that. So let me tell you, put on your seatbelt. And listen, I'm not trying to be a negative Ned. I'm not trying to discourage people to do nursing. I actually encourage it. If you're up for the job, go and do it. If you like it, go and do it. Why do I do YouTube? Because I like it, right? A lot of people like look at me like, oh, you're a money hungry guy that just wants to do it for clout and money. No, I do this because I like to do it. I like to come out and blow a bit of steam. Not really blow a bit of steam. I don't see myself as like a violent person or whatever, but just to like, let loose a bit, discuss stuff like that. Have a bit of fun. And to me, it comes naturally because I like what I do, right, Alessia?
Mm-hmm.
What do you
Mm-hmm.
have to
I
say about
agree.
that, Alessia?
um I'm a huge advocate on, just doing what you love and then see where life takes you, right?
Yeah.
um for me, I honestly, I don't know how this is gonna sound, but in my third year of
Yeah.
nursing, that's when I actually developed my passion for it. In the beginning,
Okay.
I found it so incredibly challenging that I questioned every every moment I woke up. I questioned, what am I doing? Is this what
Yeah.
I want? Is this the life I want? And I
Uh-huh.
would literally like almost terrorize myself,
Yeah.
because I would question, and people would question my choice also. They'd say, it's a very demanding job.
That's what I told you right away. When you told me you're doing nursing, I said, whoa, whoa there, Nelly. Like I said, do you know what it involves? You know what I mean? Like,
But you know
listen,
what?
I would never do it, but that's me,
Hmm.
right?
But that's fine. But
Yeah.
you know what? I've always said it. Don't allow the thought of it not working out stop you from ever starting, right?
Hmm.
Like, just do it. And if you really have that drive and that passion, you're gonna go through all of those obstacles. You're literally gonna jump over each and every one of them. They're gonna still
Okay.
come, but you're
Hmm.
gonna be able, because you want it so bad, so you're just gonna
Yeah.
keep jumping. It's okay, it's gonna get better. And now I'm at a point where I've acquired so much knowledge,
Hmm.
and I feel, I wouldn't say empowered, but
Yeah.
I love how much knowledge I've acquired during the years, and I'm able to
Hmm.
help so many people because of it.
Yeah.
right? So I try to see the good in everything. So all those mornings I would wake up at 4:30 in the morning. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm like,
You're
you know
dedicated. You're
what?
dedicated, Alessia. You love to do it.
Exactly.
I am inspired. Like just looking at you, I'm feeding off your energy and like, wow. Like when it comes to nursing, like you know your stuff. You know your stuff. And you push yourself. You set these goals, you break the barriers. It's like you see whatever challenge is in front of you, you laugh. You go, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna look at people
Exactly.
and say I did it, right? Okay. Ms. Lackey said, I understand. I quit nursing twice because I was super stressed. I was in the hospital by myself. So my daughter took the torch. I commend the nurses that really care. So I became the manager at AT&T. Okay, awesome, Ms. Lackey.
Cool.
But listen, let's see. Like I said, pretty soon you're going to be starting full time, right? I commend you for your work, okay? As a frontline worker
Thank
and
you.
working in the hospital is not easy. So listen, you've got the training for COVID, right, Alessia?
What do you mean by the training? Like about what it is?
Like I'm saying that you're trained on it. You know what to do when you go in the room, like what you have to wear, the precautions. Is that?
Yes, but however, the floor that I'm on is a green zone, so I don't have
Okay.
any patients that are currently like positive for
Okay,
COVID.
so that's a big thing then. Okay, so you've never worked in a red zone.
No.
Okay. So that's the thing. Like at some point, are they gonna put you in a red zone? Like when are you gonna get? Are you just gonna be thrown in the fire? Like how are you gonna get to get used to the like dealing with COVID patients? You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, it's your decision. What you decide to
Okay.
do with your body, with yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
they're gonna ask you, look, would you like to work here? And it's up to you. Um, and I'm still in school, right? So I'm doing a stage. So I haven't been asked to work in COVID centers or, in the emergency.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's gonna be a big, thing. It's gonna be a big change for sure.
Hmm.
Listen, green and red is completely different colors. No, but I mean, like not just like literally, but analytically, like what it involves in the hospital. By the way, guys, Dark Resonator is here. What's up, Dark Resonator? Welcome, guys. He's a gamer, by the way, Dark Resonator. So nice to see you. I think his name is Gabriel. Listen, Alessia, when you have to go in that red zone, okay, you're gonna understand why we're paid more to do this, because like it's a bit like you're risking your life. That's what you're doing. You're risking your life. You deserve every dollar extra you get, despite what the haters say and the jealous people, because
But you know what?
you have the option to do it.
But you know
Like if
what?
you know what I mean. Anyways, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, what are you saying, Alessia? Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off, but
No,
what
no,
I
it's
meant is
okay.
that um, what I meant is that as a nurse, as a doctor, you subject
Yeah,
yourself to so much like harm. What I mean by that is
yeah,
that nurses and doctors and all the healthcare workers, PABs, also yourself, you
yeah,
you subject yourself to so much, like let's say bacteria, viruses, transmissible diseases. We subject ourselves to that. We have patients that have like really, let's just say, like a pneumonia or tuberculosis. We subject ourselves to that type of environment on a daily basis, so it's nothing new. But
yeah,
when you have, let's say, COVID accompanied with another underlying condition, that's
yeah.
where it becomes difficult, right? So
Hmm. Wow. Yeah, exactly. Like we don't realize that once COVID is over. Okay, I don't know if anybody could agrees with me. And by the way, guys, if you have any questions for Alessia, shoot your questions. Okay. I know Jay Wild is rapping, but this isn't like a freestyle rap bar. Okay. Hey, Ryukat is in the building. Guys, if you have any questions for Alessia, the girl right over here, I'm gonna put on the full screen. This is Alessia. For those of you coming in, she is a student nurse. She's gonna be starting full time pretty soon. This girl has piqued my interest. Okay, cool.
picked
She has
picked
piqued my interest. Okay. She is speaking facts. That's right. Alessia, guys, okay, I'm gonna tell you something. whether she's on her live, wherever she is, she always speaks facts. Okay. Now, Alessia,
Yes.
I don't know if we got to it, but I wanted to know from you, like, I wanted to know from you an instance where you were really it was like life or death, it really got to you, and maybe something like like out of nowhere, so like a heart attack or a situation of panic, a situation where you have to act now. Is there a story you could tell us about that?
Yes. So I have multiple, but
Okay.
like let's say recently on Tuesday, I had a patient that had difficulty breathing.
Wow.
His blood pressure was very high, and I felt like, oh my God, this guy is about to cold. Like that was my initial, reaction, because I've never been subjected to that type of like environment. So it's like I have to
Okay.
act under pressure.
Okay.
And he was pale. Like his accessory muscles were present. Like he was really having a hard time to breathe. And in my mind, I'm like, what do I do? So I go out of the room, I speak to the nurses, and in that moment, I felt almost humbled.
Yeah.
Because it made me realize, like, I'm actually at a point in my life where I'm saving someone's life. Like I'm about to save someone's life with my next.
And you're also responsible for that person's life. But
yes.
I'm saying, just not to cut you off or anything, but like when you deal with that patient in that situation, do you have like a nurse with you, or you're just alone in the fire over here? You know what I mean?
So, well, it depends, because we're in a shortage of nurses, right? So as a student nurse, okay, I might have on the unit, I think we had 3 nurses present, and there's multiple patients that have really, if you're in the cardiac surgery floor, you have a lot of underlying issues. So you have very heavy patients. So these patients need continuous blood draws. They need a lot of tests being done just to check where their health is in every single, moment of the day. So I go outside of the room, I call my friend, I tell her to come with me, because you need 2 brains, because sometimes your brain isn't enough in that moment because you're so stressed, right? When
I have a problem, I always look to the other person like, oh, go get me this. Like today, I didn't have a mask because my mask broke, and I needed a mask, or else people are gonna start hating on you, right? Like, what the fuck are you going around without a mask? So I look at the person next to me. I'm like, can you go get me a mask? They got all mad. Okay, come down. Like, and then I ended up getting a mask, risking not wearing a mask. But the whole point is that everybody's stressed. Okay. It's like, you can't tell anybody anything now. Now we have some questions, Alessia. So let's get to them. Ryu Cat says, how to avoid depression, because always be alone.
How to avoid depression. Okay. Unfortunately, we are going to be subjected to a lot of negativity, and some thoughts are hard for us to let go of. And it's a process that each and every one of us deals with. We're all human, okay? We're all wired the same way. The difference is the experiences that we go through. They're all different.
Exactly.
They're all different, but they're all the same. What I mean by that is that, let's say, I'm going to just put you guys in context, right? So let's say I get married, I decide to have a child with the person I'm with, and it's a beautiful moment, right? Like all the planning for a child, and then when I give birth, right? All of that. But then think of like now that's me. Let's put this in another perspective. A girl, let's say that, unfortunately she gets pregnant in a way that it's it's not wanted, right? So her process is different. So this is what I mean, is that you have 2 people going through the same event. Both pregnant, right? But then one person is happy about it and the second is not. So do you understand what I mean? It's all about perception. It's not about what happens to you. It's how you react when that happens to you. It's the moment in your life that you're in. Like, I would like to say that right now I'm in a relatively okay place. I learned how to cope with my, with my feelings of doubt, or my feelings of,
Yeah.
loneliness, and just because, like you mentioned before, you
Mm-hmm.
make mistakes in your
Yeah.
life, and
Absolutely.
sometimes certain mistakes are hard for you to get out of, but
You fall into a rut. Yeah.
yes, but you have to pick yourself up. It's not, I know this is gonna sound corny, but it's literally amazing. It's not the amount of times that you fall, it's the
Yeah.
amount of times you get up.
Get back
Always
up.
get
Yeah.
up that extra time,
Exactly.
because that's what, like, people look at you based on how strong you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not on what happened to you, because everybody goes through a lot of, shit. Let me, like,
Yeah.
sorry for the language, but people go through a really hard time, and it's not
Yeah.
about what you go through, it's how you proceed once that happens to you.
Mm-hmm. So do you see the questions,
Yeah.
Alessia? Okay. Dark
uh
Resident says, Alessia, would you ever consider starting a YouTube channel?
you know what, I feel like it's, like you mentioned before, it's a passion of yours, right? To come on and
Yeah.
just address, situations. I've
Mm-hmm.
always been very well, not always, because I was a very shy girl,
Yeah.
very, but
Now you're starting to
lately,
come out of your shell lately. Yeah, I noticed.
yes, exactly. So lately, I've just been like, you know what?
A
I'm
buzz of
actually,
positive energy. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, you know what? If I could bring some type of positivity in someone's life, because
Yeah.
I advocate for, positivity and just a good state of mind, mindfulness, then you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's in the talks, maybe.
Yeah, because Alessia, listen, I've seen you go live on Instagram recently, and I can tell, like, you got something going there. Seriously, I think a lot of people could agree. Guys, seriously, follow Alessia on Instagram. It's at Alepiccolino, guys. Follow her. She does Instagram lives. If you guys are people that like to hang out on Instagram, definitely check out her lives. Very, very inspiring lives. So that's good. Alessia, you have to keep up the confidence. And, I see you right now. You're talking, talking, talking. I can tell you have a lot of confidence right there. Guys, Steph M is in the building. What's up? Steph M from Viva Las Vegas, guys, is in the building. How you doing, Steph? How you doing today? Like I said, guys, we have today ALESIA PICCOLINO. Steph gave you a compliment. All right. So it's the first female compliment. She said you're so pretty. Let's get to the other questions over here because I'm behind with the questions. Okay. Are you start to be a nurse? Okay, so I'll answer that. You're not a nurse yet, right, Alessia?
Exactly. I'm in my final stage.
Exactly. Okay. He also said, "Are you how to cure cancer?" Okay, so he's asking if you have the cure to cancer. That's cute,
Honestly,
bro,
you
cat.
know what, guys? Yeah. Um, I feel like this topic is so, I'm so interested in this topic, to be very honest.
Really?
I'm always one to like research on the conspiracies that are out there. Oh, there's a cure. Oh, this is that. You know what? I feel like I always use this phrase at the end of the day. The world we live in is a business
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
all its form. So,
Just like
people
Valentine's Day is a
like,
business. My girlfriend's gonna,
yes, right?
but it is what it is. It's like on TikTok. There's like a trend
Pharmaceutical
now.
businesses.
Yeah, there's a trend now on TikTok. Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Valentine's. Did you see it or no?
No, I don't.
Oh, Maron.
No.
Actually, Julia made one with the flower there. I was dying. Like, very, very talented on TikTok. So listen, Alessia,
Mm-hmm.
give us. I want to know the reality of nursing, my friend. Okay. There might be some people. Actually, there is some people here that either they were a nurse or the daughters were a nurse or they know a nurse. I want to know, Alessia, from overtime, burnout. Like I know you haven't like done it yet. Like you didn't start full time yet, whatever. But you know a lot about nursing, right? You talk to other nurses, I'm assuming. So and you look up to other people too. Like there's Mary Coladonato, she's also a nurse. So you look up to these people,
Mm-hmm.
and she has a YouTube channel, by the way. Um, yeah, so I want to know what is the reality of being a nurse when you're in the jungle, which is the floor, the unit, whether you're in the psych ward, whether you're in emergency, whether you're doing a surgery, whatever. What is the realities of being a nurse?
What are the realities? You know what? Life slaps you in the face. Um, Sometimes you feel like you've seen it all, but let me tell you, it comes knocking on your door and you're like, wow. Like I thought, you think you've seen it all, but then it's like, you know what? Um, Life is so precious, guys. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that come in with very life-threatening um, conditions, and like I'll say it again, if you love what you do, you're
Mhm.
never gonna work a day in your life. I work on
Wow, wow.
Tuesday.
That's
On
a great
Tuesday,
that's a great expression. Yeah.
yeah, on Tuesday I worked over 12 hours, and you know what?
Mhm.
I obviously you're tired because like we're humans. We need to sleep. We need to recover. We need to replenish.
Yeah.
But you almost don't feel it, you know, because it's like
Exactly.
I liked
You're
it,
having fun
but
what you're doing. Yeah.
but this only came now. When I first started, I would hate going into the hospital setting for stage because I didn't feel like I was competent, right?
Yeah.
So when you don't feel confident, how do you how are you even able to communicate with a patient? You see over, let's say, okay, for me, right?
Yeah.
I only see a few patients a day. But for somebody that's working in the ER or for somebody that's working full time, they see a
Mhm.
multitude of people. And you need to be your best self because you have to retain, you're basically a patient's advocate. You
Yeah.
advocate for the patient. So you have to retain so much information in one day, and sometimes it can really it gets to you when you see trauma, when you see and it
Yeah.
could even be, it could, the person you're looking at can also be somebody, like, can remind you of somebody close to you,
Yeah.
or uh or yourself.
Mhm.
So sometimes you're faced with your own demons, let me tell
Yeah.
you.
You know what, Alessia? Listen, like I said, I don't know if you worked in the ICU yet, or like ICU. There's palliative. There's a lot of
Mhm.
places where they're close to death, end of life. That's what we call it, end of life care.
Yes.
Listen, when you have to deal with family, okay, of a patient that is not gonna make it clearly. I mean, whether
Mhm.
the family wants to come to grips or not, you guys know, the medical professionals know whether someone's gonna make, how long they have left, everything. So how do you deal with a family member? Okay, what do you like? At the end of the day, it has to put a bit of stress on you, right? When the family member's sad, the guy has a couple days left or whatever. Like there's nothing gonna happen. You try to stay positive, and you don't want to lie to the family and make it seem like like, how do you deal with that? I personally, I wouldn't be able to deal with that. To give news like that and to console like someone that's destroyed. You know what I mean? Like I'm saying, are you ready for that, Alessia?
Um, I don't think you're ever ready for something like that. What happens is that you become almost immune. But I've never, in terms of giving bad news, it's usually the doctor that would go to the family, but then the nurse is kind of there right after, right? So the nurse
Yeah.
has to talk to the patient and try to figure out, are there resources, is there a support system that can help, right? So you're getting you know really deep with the patient, and
Hmm.
sometimes it gets to you because you're like, wow, you know and I'm complaining about, I don't know, maybe you're complaining about that you have a pimple on your face, right? But
Yeah.
think of it, in this profession, it has
Hmm.
humbled me so much, I feel, and people around me have told me that I've
Yeah.
changed as a person. And not that I've changed, but my perception, I'm still the same person, but my perception changed because of the things that I see, and
Okay.
I allow them to change me for the better, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be depressed about what I see, but I'm going to turn it around and I'll be like, wow, let me enjoy life that much more. Let me kiss the people I love. Let me hug my parents. Let me tell my friends I love them. Let me tell, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it makes you put life in perspective, and I owe that to the profession I'm in. And I thank
Okay.
my teachers that pushed me, because I doubted myself so many times. And
Really?
yeah.
Like what would make you doubt yourself? Like just out of curiosity.
Well, sometimes you feel like like I was mentioning, you're incompetent. You feel like you don't have enough knowledge
Mm-hmm.
to execute a technique,
Okay.
to off, because as a nurse you teach a lot also. You teach
Yeah.
proper hygiene, you teach nutrition, you
Mm-hmm.
teach just how to take care of yourself overall, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you feel like, in the beginning of my academic career, you don't feel like you're knowledgeable, so you do trial and error. So it's,
Yeah.
you're talking to them, and then you'll be like, oh, by the way, I don't have the answer for that, but I'll go and get it and I'll come back. But
Mm-hmm.
that kind of makes you feel a bit like, wow, like I don't know my stuff. But it's normal, you don't know. You can't expect to know everything, prior to studying your profession. But
Exactly.
that's the mental
You
processes
know,
that you have to go through.
I hear like PABs, nurses telling me that they come in and they're like, and they tell the new people, like, oh, it takes like weeks. It takes weeks. She goes, I'm still learning after 5 years, after 10 years. I'm still learning things every day about
A hundred
nursing and
percent.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things that you just have to have the experience for it and actually do it. That you could read a book and you could read it, but at the end of the day, you have to be street smart. You know what I mean? Like you gotta get your hands dirty, right? Like sometimes literally, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not easy. It's absolutely not easy. Like I said, I commend you for doing it. Ryocat was just saying, did you ever experience the family member? Okay, so he's saying, did you ever have to deal with a patient that passed away?
Uh, so I haven't dealt with a patient that was in my hands that passed away. Like I said, I'm still early on in my career.
Yeah.
I haven't been subjected to that, but my next stage is in oncology.
Okay.
So you know, I,
It's probably
I,
gonna. It's most
I,
likely you're
I,
gonna experience it for
yeah,
sure.
I've been in palliative care
Mm-hmm.
for children, soins palliatifs,
Wow.
and that stage, oh my God, I would come home and I would cry. I'm getting
Oh my
emotional
god.
just talking about it, but you know, like I said, it humbles you in ways that you never thought you, like there's certain feelings I never thought I'd ever feel, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I I just try to enjoy life that much more, because you never know when it's your time.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to know a bit more about, like you said, you wanted to work in a clinic. You wanted to have your own private uh, Botox. You were saying like a Botox clinic.
Well, like a multi-service clinic, without a doctor there to prescribe an order, you can
Okay.
develop your practice. But
Mm-hmm.
however, now, if I'm not mistaken, I know that the government is granting more, like, I wouldn't say jobs, but as a nurse practitioner, you could do a
Mm-hmm.
lot more.
Okay.
Um, and if I'm not mistaken, I think you can re-prescribe medication. So, like, you see
Wow.
your doctor for the first time, but then you can always go like to the nurse. So you'll always go to the nurse with your following visits until you might need a different medication. But in terms of continuous medication, the nurse can prescribe it for you.
Okay. Royal Cat said, "Are you dreaming to be a nurse before you are a kid?" Okay. So he said, "Were you always dreaming about being a nurse as a kid?"
No, actually. No, it was never, even out of high school. I was really into psychology. I still am. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and no, nursing kind of came about when something personal happened in my life, and
Yeah.
it changed my life, and I decided, you know what, I want to be that person to help somebody in their most vulnerable state. So I decided to go into nursing.
Okay, amazing. Now, the big question, one of the biggest questions we're going to cover right now. I mean, it's very relevant with the pandemic and everything. guys, I don't know if you got your shot. Okay, I definitely got my shot over here, my vaccine. Okay, my first dose, which is apparently I think 58% accurate, something like that. Eva, Alessia,
I'm not. I can't answer that, but
you can't
you
answer
seem
that. Okay.
you're very knowledgeable about it. So
It's about 58% the first shot, because the first shot you get is 58%, and then you have to take the second dose, which is like a booster, and then it boosts you to like 99.9 or maybe a bit less, 98%.
yeah, it has partial immunity.
But my question is, with all the controversy going on with the vaccine, okay, the AstraZeneca or whatever it's called, Pfizer, all these different companies making all of a sudden, by the way, making these vaccines and everything. What are your thoughts about the vaccine with the delays, the efficacy, and the strains? Because right now there's actually about 40 cases of the coronavirus variant in Montreal. So what do you got to say about that?
Okay, so first of all, a virus, the longer it's in an environment, the stronger it gets. So
Okay.
if you think of it, it's about a year that we're in this. So it's a year that the virus has been in this environment. That means that it's developing, how do I put it into simpler terms? It's creating shields. So it's getting stronger. It's able to withstand different environments. If
Okay.
the virus was able to withstand, let's say it's able to withstand a certain temperature, now it's able to withstand multiple temperatures. So in order for it to die off, it's like, okay, we can't put it in any environment because it thrives through it. So it's going to continuously mutate. And that's when it becomes dangerous, when it's able to adapt to the environments that it's in. It develops, almost like an immunity towards it. So it just becomes stronger and stronger. And then that's where the different strains and the different variants come out.
Okay.
It all starts from the same, let's say it came from SARS, right? So
Yeah.
now this is a mutated version of it. We call it COVID-19. And then after that, there's going to be another strain, and so on and so forth. Just like the flu and the influenza, the reason it's still in our environment is because it doesn't go away.
COVID is gonna, even after the vaccine, COVID, it's gonna be like polio, right? You know what polio is? Obviously.
But this is how you eradicate one, is by herd immunity. More people that have immunity towards the virus.
Absolutely.
So that in order for it to spread, you decrease it by a huge amount. So that's why vaccines are pushed a lot, for that exact reason.
But the thing is, Alessia, you know what I find really weird? By the way, guys, just a little segue over here. I'm drinking Guru energy drink. It's really good, guys. I got this from the MUHE Foundation, by the way. Shout out to them. It's really, really good. It's actually light. The flavor says organic energy. I'm not sure the flavor, but it tastes almost like a watermelon. It's really good, by the way. And I'm not paid to say that, by the way, also. So, Alessia, the variant. Do you think, like, this Pfizer vaccine, okay, when it was developed, they didn't take into account the variant, right? So my question is, why take an outdated vaccine? Yeah, go ahead.
It's not about outdated. It takes a long time for them to develop a vaccine. It takes a lot of trial and error. It's not, they don't just make a vaccine out of nothing. They have to isolate the virus. They have to see where it grows. They have to see, so there's a whole process. But during this process, the virus is still in the environment. So it's getting stronger by the hour, by the minute.
Yeah.
So once they develop the vaccine, it holds, I don't know how many variants, but there's still the virus that's present in our environment. But what I can say is that if you do get vaccinated, okay, you are developing an immunity. There's certain characteristics that are still found in the new variant. So you're gonna have a minimal amount of antibodies that are gonna enable you to fight if ever you do get into contact with the virus. So
Okay.
it's like you train, you're training to get stronger. This is what a vaccine does. It's training you to get, stronger for, war, let's say,
Yeah.
which is COVID, which is this pandemic.
Yeah. So listen, Alessia, I'm not saying you're a fortune teller, or like you're definitely not like I don't know, you're not part of the CDC, right? But listen, in your opinion, Alessia, in your frank opinion, okay, when is this all gonna end? Okay, but listen, I'm saying end to the point where we don't have to wear masks obligatory. When do you think that day will come?
Um, Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
So to be honest with you, I feel like until we get herd immunity, like I mentioned, so more
Hmm.
people that have either caught the virus through vaccine. What I mean by that is that there's a protein that that your body is being subjected to, which is foreign. It creates antibodies for it, and it allows you to create antibodies to fight. And then the other way is through the actual virus. So you contract the virus, and then you develop antibodies through that. So
Okay.
until we have more people that have antibodies for it than not, I think I think masks are still gonna be in our everyday lives for for yeah. I'm not gonna give a time frame because I
Okay,
honestly don't
but
know.
okay, so you're telling me that in 2 years from now, we're still gonna have to wear masks.
We don't know that. I mean, we don't know how the virus is going to decide to mutate. We don't know. Is it going to
Hmm.
mutate at a stronger rate? Is it going to mutate slower,
Yeah.
depending on the environment that it's subjected to? We don't know. Scientists are just standing by, and they're waiting for
Hmm.
the virus to take its course, and then from there, that's when and trust me, some people out there are working really, really
Yeah. Yeah.
hard
Yeah. For sure.
to figure out what to do with what we're facing with.
Yeah. Now, Raukat's saying, our experience to be somebody ignoring you. I'm not sure what he's trying to say over there, ignoring you.
I think he
Maybe,
means, like, have you ever experienced somebody that ignores you or that gives you hate?
but who would give you hate? I mean, who would give a nurse hate? I'm just curious.
Oh, but it's not about the title you have, it's the person you are, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I don't necessarily, like, honestly, back then, like, I'm talking about when I was in high school, it would
Yeah.
bother me, when people were, they would say something and it would resonate with me, and I would have a hard time, dealing with it. Now I'm at a point in my life where I honestly just just do what I want to do. I have the best interests of others, in my heart and for myself, and you know my interests aren't to bring somebody down or anything. Like, if I bring somebody down unwillingly, then I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, it's you have to think about yourself, and because you're the one that has to go to bed at night and you have to have a good night's sleep, you have to
Hmm.
think of yourself.
Yeah. So, what kind of inspiring words can you give to somebody that's thinking about being a nurse, or somebody that's doing something and then thinking of a career change? What kind of advice can you give to an upcoming student nurse or somebody who's thinking of getting into nursing?
Don't allow the time that it's gonna take to get to where you want to be, like, hinder your progression. Don't say,
Hmm.
oh, it's gonna take, like, I don't want to do nursing, or I don't want to do whatever your passion is. I don't want to become a hairdresser. Oh, it's too long. I don't want to do that. It's too long. It's too hard. You didn't even try it. Just try it and see where it takes you.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal answer. Listen, Alessia, your confidence, it inspires me. It inspires a lot of people. The guests, and I mean, they're really happy about you guys. If you have any other questions, general nursing questions, like what happens if you give the too much medication or not enough, or you forget to give your patient medication, these are all things you're gonna have to think about, right? You don't answer a call bell. I mean, well, listen, call bells could be ringing and you could be busy, but I'm saying there's all kinds of things that can happen, right? This reminds me a bit of McDonald's. When I started at McDonald's, I was a mess. I was running, I had to go get more tomatoes. I had to get more ketchup. There's people, it was New Year's Eve. I had to make a bunch of burgers because everybody came in and decided I want fish fillet. So, no, I can't drop the link, Royal Cat. Absolutely not. Guys, can you stop asking to drop the link when we have guests? The floor is for the guests, guys, okay? So, yeah. So, there's times that I was really stressed. I don't want to think about it, like, you know. But like I said, Alessia, a bit by bit, you know, you're going to start. There's definitely going to be people looking at you like, who's this rookie? For sure. I can guarantee you, people are going to look at you and say, who's this chick over here? You know? And then you go on to certain areas, certain units. This is what I wanted to tell you. Right now, you're having fun on your unit, whatever, but you're going to be in units that are very cliquey. You're going to be, you're not the regular. So who are you? People are going to doubt you. Like I said, they might put you under the bus, especially that you're new. They're going to make you do extra things because they can see that they can take advantage of you. So how are you going to respond to that type of situation?
I've been subjected to that all the time. Honestly, just I don't even know how to say it, but focus on your success and be a good person at the end of the day, but don't allow anybody to step all over you, because let me tell you, you deserve to be exactly where you are. And you know, I've had multiple occasions where it's like, oh, you're not mature enough, oh, you're not this, oh, you're not that, oh, you're too nice to patients, always something negative. But you know what, I look at the positive in each and everything, and everything that comes at me, I take it as positive, like constructive criticism. And you know what? I just do me. Just do you, and greatness is gonna follow. Let me tell you.
Yeah. So you must be really, you must be really, really excited to get started. And when do you think you'll be like a full licensed nurse?
By the summer, end of the summer, I hope. We shall see. We shall see. I don't like to put a time frame on anything. Okay. I just, you know what, whatever comes at me, it was meant for me, right?
Yeah. So like for sure, you're really excited and everything. You know, like, hey, what's up? Speedy Sunday's in the building. How are you? Speedy Sunday. We have ALESIA PICCOLINO in the building. She's a nurse. If you have any questions, guys, listen, the floor is open. If you have any questions, drop your questions. If you're a silent viewer, say something so I could see who you are, who's stalking me. You know what I mean? So drop a question, guys. I'll put it on the screen. Alessia could help you out with it. Just note that she's not a doctor. So if you have like a foot fungus, she won't be able to she won't be able to diagnose that. Okay. But any other pertinent question to nursing, she could probably give you a hand, guys. Okay. So, like I said, we're all very, very proud of you, Alessia.
Thank you.
What you do is something that not everybody is able to do. There's people that do it and then decide I can't do it anymore. Because I'm going to tell you one thing, okay? Working in a hospital, okay? When you start, it's really, really overwhelming in a hospital, okay? Why? Because it's so big, the hospital. You don't know the people. You don't have friends. You make a bunch of mistakes, and the managers are on your ass. Whatever, your nurse, they're on your ass because they want to see you do something wrong. Infection controls on your ass. Everybody's on your ass because you're new and they're testing you, right? Are you experienced astic dad? Astic dad? Not sure what that means. Do you know what that means, Alessia?
No.
Sorry, Ryo Cat, we can't understand that question. Maybe you could say it more clearly or rephrase it. Norma Grabi is here. How are you, Nora? He's from the United Arab Emirates. Can you make a special guest from Snapchat? Okay, he's asking if I could get a Snapchatter. I didn't even know that was a word, Snapchat. I mean, I just made it up right now. But, okay, so he's requesting a guest from Snapchat. Listen, Nor, I am open to all possibilities, guys, having guests of all fields and everything. Today we had a nurse, which is, listen, guys, it was on my bucket list to have a nurse. One day I would like to have a doctor too. That would be really cool. Unfortunately, it's really hard to get a hold of a doctor and get the time for the doctor to come. That's the problem. And then most doctors will not speak about their practice. You know what I mean? So, but that's a bucket list thing. So today we did one step, and then eventually we're gonna get doctors here. We're gonna get ologists, all ologists, whatever, biologist, marine, whatever. Sexologist. No, I'm joking. Okay, how long does it take you to be nurse, and how do you feel about it?
Okay, so my journey was a little different. Like I mentioned, I didn't directly go from high school to college in nursing. It's about it's a 3-year program. If you want to go and get your bachelor's, once again, it's another few years, depending how, if you're a full-time student or a part-time student, it's very different for everybody. If you decide to, get your practitioner license, once again, you have a long time ahead, but let me tell you, it's worth it if that's what you wanted, if that's your passion.
Okay, he says, do you know about Miami? He's so famous, and his Snapchat, he's a doctor doing surgery, and he shows all the soldiers in Snapchat stories, have 4.3 million followers. Probably don't know about him, eh?
No.
Well, the thing is, Norma Grabi, okay, he was actually ranting to me about how Snapchat is much more worth it than YouTube and other platforms, because he's saying that it's so easy to get followers and stuff like that. But Noor is young too, but he probably doesn't understand this. But Snapchat, okay, what they do is they reward people because they want people on their platform, right? They want to compete with Instagram and they want to compete with TikTok. So that's why they have these Snapchat stories or reels. They create like a story or reel type of thing. And they're paying they're paying the people that make the content. So they're enticing you to make content. And he's saying that he's getting a lot of followers on Snapchat. And now he wants me to get a Snapchatter. I don't know if that's a word, but he wants me to get a Snapchat on the show. Listen, guys, I'm open to a lot of possibilities, but don't come tell me that you want a guy with 4.3 million followers, okay? There's people that are like at 20K that are conceited, that you ask them, you want to be on? You get left unseen. You drown in their DMs. They're not even going to consider coming on your show. You know what I mean? Even if you had 20K followers, they're just like, so their shit doesn't stink so much, like, I don't know. To me, I think they're a bit delusional. Like, they're just like, who the hell are you? Like 19 years old, you're 20 years old on TikTok. Anyways, whatever.
Now we're getting
that's what it is. But yeah, now we're getting on the dark side of social media. But no. What I want to say though, okay, I want to say something. Wayne Gretzky, okay, I say this all the time, but he said a quote. He said, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." Do you understand that, Alessia? Okay, so the point is,
I love that quote. I live by it.
It's my favorite quote. I'm born and I will die with that quote. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So if you reach out to somebody to be on your show and they say no, that's fine. It's called rejection. The first time it hurts badly, but then you get used to being rejected, right? It's like a woman. You ask a woman out. The first time she rejects you, it sucks. The next time you ask a woman out, it's going to be easier, because you already dealt with the rejection. So my point is, don't stop because you got rejected. Keep going. Keep at it. Eventually, somebody will want to collaborate with you. Eventually, Hollywood will want to have you. It's hard. Very hard, by the way. But, you never know, guys, right? Like, you have to keep your options open. Keep grinding. If somebody gives you an opportunity, take it. Don't think twice. Don't be lazy, okay? Seriously, any opportunity you get, you need to have impressions of yourself. You have to be everywhere on the internet, because then people start to realize who you are and they recognize you. So I'm just giving those quick words of motivation, guys, okay? So like I said, guys, I want to thank Alessia for coming. Alessia, you've been amazing. I have a lot of fun when you're on the live. Seriously, I like the positive vibes that comes, the confidence.
Thank you.
And, the people that on my channel, they love you. Like I said, they enjoy having you. So guys, listen, if you have any last questions, shoot it. And we will definitely have Alessia back on the show, guys. Anytime we have topics about nursing, vaccines, anything to do with bacteria, guys, anything to do with hospitals, whatever. We have a nurse now, so that's good. I have a nurse to call. That's always good to know. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Like I said, this will be available after the fact. For those of you who's watching from Facebook, thank you. Even though I'm not streaming on Facebook, but I dropped it on Facebook. So, okay, hang on a second. Are you experienced Nobody no more help you or support. That's a tough one. There should be a game show like trying to understand Ryocat.
Well, no, I think I understand what he meant. I think it's,
Are
have you
you
ever
experienced?
experienced nobody there to support you?
There you go. Yeah, that's it.
You're gonna have. I really hope that you have somebody there that cheers you on, because that's really important. But let me tell you guys, like right before we end this off, the only person you need to support is yourself, and the only support that you really have is yourself. So love yourself that much more, because you're the one that has to walk the path that you're on, nobody else. And
Yeah,
it helps having good people around you, but you need to work all hard on yourself to,
yeah.
in order for you to seek help from others.
Like I said, I always tell people, you see through these two eyes. You're the only person that can see what you're seeing, right? So at the end of the day, you matter. I know it's a really selfish thing to say, and I'll be honest. I'm more of a taker than a giver. What about you,
Mm-hmm.
Alessia? Are you more of a giver than a taker? Like, do you find that you're the one donating, always giving, or do you find that you're just the one taking?
No, I feel like I give a lot. I'm very
Really?
generous,
Okay.
but in turn, I feel like it helps me. Like by helping others, I feel good. So it like
Okay.
it's a genuine statement. Like I love to help others in the ways that I can. If I can't help that person, it's unfortunate for me. But if I'm able to help somebody, I will definitely do what I can to
Mhm.
help the person. So I would like to say that um, I'm more of a giver.
Okay, awesome. Are you okay? Not again. Ryan said, "Are you experienced that have a? Do you like you saying? Did you ever have a fake friend that just left you on scene? Like
No, I don't allow these things to penetrate in my mind. Maybe I've been subjected to that, but I don't think of it. So
Yeah. He said, Raka, please always come because I'm always have question or I'm listening your advice.
just what I could say for you, Ryo Cat, just whatever floats your boat, whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you sleep at night, do you make sure you're not hurting anybody in the process, and you're kind to the people around you. Just be a good person at heart, and like I said, good things are gonna follow.
Yeah. Absolutely agree with Alessia on that. All right, guys. So thank you for coming tonight. Just a couple of quick reminders, guys. Next Wednesday, when is it? The next Wednesday is it the 17th? Yeah, it is the 17th, guys. 3 Men in a Podcast. I'm going live with my buddies Luigi Costanza and Claudio Capri Comedy. We have a podcast. We're 3 men. We talk about men's health. So that's going on. The Thursday, we have none other than the host of the Kind Time Show on Instagram, Pamela Pagano, guys. So I'm very excited about that. We've actually never video chatted. So like her coming on the show is going to be the first time we're actually talking, seeing each other. So that's really exciting. Also, don't forget this, I think, when is it? Saturday. This Saturday, I'm going to be on the Dirty Four. We're doing a Valentine's Day speed dating. Okay. But I'm not, listen, guys, I'm not speed dating. It's just a joke. You understand? It's a Valentine's special. And I'm just going to show up and just plug in the Ange TV show. So guys, go support me. The Dirty Four, Saturday, I believe it's at 8 o'clock. I might be mistaken, but I can let you guys know on Instagram. Don't forget to follow the Ange TV show on Instagram, the Ange TV show on TikTok. If you're new here, like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. That also helps. Don't forget to go follow ALESIA Piccolino, guys, in the description on Instagram. Alepiccolino. Go follow her. If you have more questions for her, you could DM her. Just don't be creepy, okay? All right, we got that out of the way. But Ryocat, seriously, Ange, is that your girl? Okay, what do you mean, Ange, is that your girl? What is he talking about? That is a dating game.
My cousin is.
Yes, guys. Erica is cousins with Alessia, okay? He says that is a dating game. Speed dating. Yeah, speed dating is a dating game. But I'm not participating in the speed dating. I'm just there to plug in my channel, okay? So yeah, that's exciting. All right, Alessia, thank you for coming. Guys, we're about to sign out. Thank you very much for being supportive. Ryocat, I hope you find peace with yourself. Nor keep doing that Snapchat stuff. We're gonna have some more interesting guests lined up, so very excited about that, guys. Okay, take care, guys. Have a good one. Ciao. 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 Bye. Bye.